Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time of day or night it is for you. Hi, I am Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor, and I'm uber excited about being here because we are going to continue in our book. That's right, Black Woman's Guide to Beautiful Hair. We're having this wonderful cyber tour, and I love all the questions and the emails. Thank you so much for emailing me and for sending these questions and calling my institute for phone appointments. I thank you guys so much for that. If you have not got your email in or answered, please continue to email me. Also, call my institute at 901, or if you're out of state, 800-535-9096 or 901-380-4445, and you will be able to get a phone appointment. That's right, I'm offering free counseling to you guys out there. Now, it does get full, I will tell you, because I have patients, and there are certain days and certain times that I do phone appointments. Just be patient. If we want to have a good conversation, or you want to have a good one-on-one with me, just be patient, even if you have to wait a few days or even weeks. I hope it's not that bad. All right, love you guys. We want to get right to it today. I want to get to your questions first, of course, and then I'm going to start with our next part, Naturally Yours, Kinky Hair. Yeah, we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the importance of moisture, because I know that some of you hear about moisture all the time, but we have a reason why. It's the science behind all of this. Okay, the first was a comment and said that the video gave excellent advice. That feedback is so important to me because I really want what I do to count. I want it to make a difference in your life, and it is, and I thank God for that through Jesus. I really do. The next one was as well, awesome info as usual. And then, oh, it was, hi, do you offer discounts on hair and scalp analysis for college students? My hair and scalp analysis, believe it or not, even though I'm a certified trichologist, are at outreach prices. So all you have to do is call the institute and let them know that you want to come in for hair and scalp analysis, and you will get the automatic discount prices. Most trichologists, for their examinations, are well over $100 and some even $200. Mine are very affordable, so you'll be surprised. Well, that's because I really want my examinations to be where people can get them, because I think that education as it relates to your hair and scalp is going to empower you really to help yourself. So yes, call and you'll get the automatic price, and it's already discounted. It says, how do you repair poor porosity and elasticity? I believe I have this problem because I am not retaining any length. Well, in order to get length, and you see I have my collar popped, my huge earrings, which I absolutely love, and I have my hair pulled up, but you can see it's still long. I still have this 12, I used to try to keep about 12 inches a hair. You've heard me say that before. The way you get length is to have good elasticity and porosity. Of course, as we talked about in the last session or tour or reading, we talked about how poor porosity will cause you to absorb your liquids quickly, your moisture, and not retain them. So then the hair is dry. And then poor elasticity will cause your hair to break because your hair is trying to stretch. When you, like when I touch my hair, see, I just kind of bounces back. I have great elasticity in my hair. Well, deep conditioning is the best way to get a good elasticity and daily moisturizing. Okay, the next one says, my daughter's hair doesn't have good porosity or elasticity. I have convinced her to make her last chemical relaxant start going natural. I feel this will strengthen her hair. Do you agree? I think that what we need to keep in mind is not just about growing natural or transitioning in order to have healthy hair. You really have to have a plan of transition, and then you have to have a plan for, and we're going to talk about transition a little bit more as we get through the book, but you have to have a plan for managing that new growth. I'm going to show you something today, and I was wondering when I was going to be able to pull it out, but it's a hair sample, and I'm not going to put gloves on. This is something I kind of keep in a little baggie in my office, and it came from a patient brought this in, and if you can see it closer, this is the new growth. You can see the new growth, and then you can see where the straight hair, see her hair is straight, and this is the new growth. So when she transitions, you need to be very careful. And I'm going to show this again when we talk about transitioning. This is my little piece that I keep. And you can see the natural hair here. And then you can see the straighter hair. It broke right at the line of difference or the line of demarcation where the new growth ended and the chemically treated hair began. And that's really, really a problem. So you need to be really careful with the transition if she's going to transition. Also, you need to understand that just because she's natural does not mean it's going to be healthy. So there will be work to do. And you can go on my website at lisaakbari.com so you can get my natural hair transition program. I'm definitely going to recommend that, because when you do that, you'll have an opportunity to transition without losing hair. And so that's what I want for you. I'm trying to make sure this my telephone is off because it'll start ringing. Now it's off. Okay. Alright, and so be careful. And ask for that phone appointment. Remember, I'm giving you guys these free phone appointments today. Alright, thank you so much for answering our questions last week. However, I am seeing some chipping on the ends of my hair. What is that from? Okay, chipping on the ends is from dehydration, clear and simple. We have very old, aged hair. So when we actually, let's see if you can see it that way. Okay, I'll turn like this. When we dress our hair for bed, we want to take our forefinger and our thumb with our moisture. You'll feel it like that, and then you actually slide it down, and then back and forth, sliding down your section. Now it could be a larger section. It doesn't have to be the small section. It can be more hair, but you want to make sure you focus. Product placement and even distribution is crucial. And so if you're chipping away at the ends, it's because of dehydration. Okay, it says, and then she said, what do I do about, where did it come from? I said, I want to start shampooing my hair every 3 days and moisturizing with a suave humectant until I can afford to get the length program. Can you tell me anything else to get me through the month? Okay, I really don't recommend products out there unless I've had an opportunity to really research what's actually the performance, and not just research the product itself and what's in it, but what it does to the hair under the microscope. And that's what I really go by, because there's a lot of great products out there and there's a lot of bad products out there. So humectants are crucial because those are moisture binding agents. You want them in your moisturizers. Natural glycerin is a really good a vegetable glycerin to be put in your product. But still, trying to play chemist will cause you some problems, so be careful. Our system is very, very reasonable, by the way. We checked in some of the things that you can get over the counter. We're comparable to that. Alright, so let's see. The next question. My hair is low porosity and protein sensitive, but I use protein, and this is something called Curl Junkie Repair. Other proteins make my hair dry and brittle. I don't do protein treatments often because I read that low porosity has fewer openings. Low porosity hair has fewer openings, and if you coat clog the few openings I do have with protein, how's moisture going to absorb in my hair? Okay, understand. I think you got it a little bit wrong here. Matter of fact, a lot wrong. Because what happens with protein is not going to clog your pore. A protein actually will strengthen your hair. It goes in and it repairs, because the hair is mostly composed of these dead keratinized protein cells. So what happens when you put protein on, it goes in and it does repair work. The reason why people think they're protein sensitive is because they're using protein on the hair and they're not balanced with moisture. So when you buy your conditioners, you want them to say protein and moisture together, and that way you're going to balance that delicate protein moisture level within your shaft. Okay? All right, and you can go on my website. I make it easy for you. I have an outstanding and it's also soft protein and moisture conditioner, deep penetrating. Okay, it says the last question is, I've also read that things like steaming alkaline treatments containing baking soda, bagging, sleeping with a plastic cap over moistured hair will open the cuticle and allow moisture into the strand. What do you think about these methods? Okay, let's start with steaming. Steaming is going to definitely open your pores and is fabulous for deep pore cleaning in the hair and the scalp. Alkaline treatments, I wouldn't recommend alkaline treatments containing baking soda. Alkaline treatments because they're going to dehydrate. They're the opposite of what your hair actually, your pH of your hair and scalp is. You're more alkaline within and you need that, but on the external you need more acidic. So you want to stay with 4.5 to 5.5. Baking soda with alkaline treatments, I'm not really sure that combination, but I do know that the alkaline would be bad. It'll dehydrate, and then you have to be careful with the pH on the baking soda as well. Plastic cap, sleeping with a plastic cap over moisture hair, no, that's not good, because if your scalp can't breathe with that plastic cap, and at night we do a lot of repair work happens with our body in general, and if you sweat, then you're going to cause all kinds of problems. You could cause itching, you could cause all of this just molds and mildew and things like that to set up around the hair and scalp. You just don't want to sleep. Your scalp pores won't breathe. It's just bad. Never sleep in a plastic cap. You can hydrate the hair and wrap the hair with something allowing the hair and scalp to breathe. A plastic cap should only be used for therapeutic reasons and a short period of time, like under the dryer with a conditioner. Okay? Alright, those are all the questions. Let's get to the book. Okay, woo! Alright, Naturally Yours. I'm just going to read from my book today. Okay, it says, I said, natural kinky hair is beautiful, manageable, and lovable. Love my hair. I want to hear y'all sing that in the mirror at least once a day. I promise you that to know your hair is to love your hair. That's it. Let's come to know our hair in its natural state. To know it is to love it. Come to know your hair in a natural state. Woo! T-shirts calling. That would be a great t-shirt. Really, but you really need to do that. You need to love your hair, to know your hair. And how are you going to even know your hair? Kinky hair type is the Kinky hair is the type of hair that most black women have. It is spiral in shape, but it can vary in its degrees of kinkiness. And in other words, let's say that, and I'm going to put this in front so I won't turn it away from you. In other words, and I want to read from this so I can get it just like I wrote it, nice and concise, because you know how I can go on and on and on, just like I'm doing now. In other words, let's say that kinky hair can be slightly kinky, moderately kinky, or extremely kinky. I know some of you say that you can have zigzag hair, but it's coming out at an angle. If we microscopically view the hair, it's actually coming out at an angle, and then it just goes into a C, and then it goes into an S, and then the S gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and that's pretty much the shape. So we say slight, average or moderate, and then extreme. And that's how I do it. I don't do the 4 C's and the B's and all of those, because really that's really simply put, and I like to do that for y'all. I like to keep it simply put because it gets really confusing. Okay, let's go on. It says, and I say, a strand can be extremely kinky in type, and that's what we need to go with, because we talked about texture and type before, and can be fine in texture, which will mean that this strand is both small and tightly spiral. Many women mistake extremely kinky hair type for coarse hair type texture, and say that their tightly spiraled hair strands are coarse. This mistake can cause a lot of damage because those who mistake extremely kinky hair type for coarse hair type tend to use more heat. If they're using chemicals, they use more chemicals. They're doing things, they're rougher with the hair, pulling the hair, trying to manage the hair, but they end up destroying it. You must consider the texture, fine, medium, or coarse, as well as the type, slightly, moderately, or extremely kinky, of your own hair strands when choosing hairstyles, hair products, and services. You must also be aware of the variations and combinations of textures and type on one end. Okay, be sure to look at, feel, and examine your hair. Learn your true hair texture and hair type so that you will be in control. Be able to educate others, your friends, your family. My YouTubers, I love you, family, but make sure you know what you're talking about when you're on YouTube. Okay? Oh, I love you for wanting to share. But really, if you're going to educate others, let's be careful to be sure and ask those tough questions of the licensed people like myself and other people, and wait for the great answers. I even saw some of you go into salons and do interviews. Kudos. I really was impressed with that because you're really trying to see what professionals have to say. So educate yourself before you try to educate others, and be able to, so you can stop the misreading of your strand. This will help you to stop that, because when you read your strand as coarse hair, just because it's really kinky, then that is not right, and you will end up with damage. Okay, many women say that kinky hair is fragile, hard to comb, but this is not necessarily true. Any head of hair can be hard to comb if we don't take care of it. Let me tell you about one lady who came into my institute for a hair analysis. She was wearing her hair in a natural state. She seemed to be struggling with her decisions to do so. And so doing that analysis, what happened, I listened to what she was saying, and I just kind of hung on. She listened to what I was saying. In other words, I listened to her, what she was saying, but when I started to speak, she hung on my every word. Afterwards, she looked at me and said, before today, I really did not think that kinky hair was supposed to be combed at all. Come on. But during the 1970s, we wore curly fros and we loved them. We combed our hair then, and we can comb our hair and care for our hair right now. Now, I believe in using your human comb a lot, but we can groom and comb our hair. We don't have to let it just, man up to our head. Did we understand and love our hair more in the 70s than we do now? Remember, we had those big old fros, and so many of you are getting back to that, and that's super duper. But when I wrote this book, really, it was during that curve when people were just so confused about what they were going to do. It's not that it's outdated, because we still have a lot of ladies who are torn, like the subscriber my family said to me earlier in the question. She said, well, my daughter wants to transition, or I'm trying to get my daughter to transition. So people still need a lot of help. Now we have gotten away from natural hair, and it seems to be hard to go back for some people. They're addicted to the relaxer. There's an addiction. I have found that the reason many women are going natural is not just because they want to grow natural. And I know you're going to criticize me for this, but I love you. But many of my patients don't just want to grow natural. That's not the reason they're growing natural. I have found that the reason many women are growing natural is because they're afraid of damaged hair. They're afraid of the damage that chemicals have done to their hair and are doing to their hair. Natural seems to be the only way to preserve their hair. So each day, each day they look at that natural hair in the mirror and say, and some of them really say this, okay, you woolly stuff, come on and let me see how I can wear you today. Let me see how I can wear you today. As if it's a project just to get our hair done. We made it to natural. So we've run away from one thing, and what are we running to? We're running to natural? Well, now don't get me confused and don't think I'm talking you out of it. Oh my goodness, I love my natural hair and I'm so talking you into it. But I need you empowered. I have so many patients who have natural hair, who have very, very damaged hair. Poor porosity, elasticity, they can't obtain length, just like what you're saying to me. That's because you run away from something because you're scared of it. But you didn't prepare yourself for this journey. So now you're lost. And you have this hair, and like I said, you look in the mirror every day and you go, okay, woolly stuff, how am I going to style you today? Well, maybe you don't call it woolly, whatever you call it. You may even use the N word. Awful. But what we're doing is we're saying, hey, I can't really manage my hair. And so I want to change that. I want to help you. I want to educate you. So there's several things we want to do. I did promise you I'm going to talk about moisture. And if I don't, I know you guys were going to get me. But I think that we want to give it more time. So next week, yes, next week, I will tell you moisture is important. I want you to start looking at your moisture, and this is some homework. And we're going to talk about moisture itself next week. But this is your homework. When you use your moisture, make sure that when you put it on your hair immediately begins to feel soft. Also, the next project is make sure you deep condition your hair this week. And also make sure that you use a protein and moisture combination conditioner. Go on my website at lisaakbari.com. If you cannot find a moisture and protein combination, and order mine. Okay? I love you guys. To God be the glory in Jesus. I am Lisa Akbari, family. I love you. To God be the glory in Jesus. I will see you next week. We're going to talk about the importance of moisture. All right? Love your hair. Get in the mirror. I love you, hair. Thanks a lot. Goodbye, guys.